Hi, I'm Emily Hagstrom, and I'm here with Jason Bryant, part of the Production Enhancement Division at Halliburton. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what you do at Halliburton, and that's related to fracturing fluid. And that is a huge concern in Colorado right now, especially with air and water quality issues coming up as Colorado gets more involved within the oil and gas industry. So can you tell us a little bit about, if you were talking to anybody on the street, why is fracturing fluid used?
Fracturing fluid is essential for commercially producing from these unconventional reservoirs that are in Colorado. It is a means to deliver the hydraulic pressure from the surface with the pumping equipment to the formation and crack open the rock. Cracking open the rock allows us to create channels for which these hydrocarbons can flow back to the wellbore and back up to the surface.
Got it. What is in this fracturing fluid? A lot of people are concerned because they don't know why it's used and what it's used for.
Okay, well, most of the fracturing fluid is actually composed of water and sand. About 99.5% of that is water and sand. Water is, again, used to transmit that hydraulic pressure from the surface to the rock, and sand is used to actually keep that rock propped open and keep those flow channels there and available once that hydraulic pressure at the surface is released. Other components, such as a gelling agent, most of these gelling agents are polysaccharide materials, the similar materials that you would find in ice cream or salad dressing, for instance. There's also crosslinkers and breakers. These have functions to create viscosity when you need it and also take that viscosity away. And there are other constituents such as surfactants and biocides. And surfactants are used to help promote the flow in very tight channels or very tight pores. And biocides are used to control the contamination of bacteria at the surface, both for the performance of the fluid system and also for the health of the formation below.
You mentioned biocides, but that seems to be a big chemical concern. Can you talk about what Halliburton is doing and what's being done to kind of quell people's fears about this?
Sure. Traditionally, biocides used in the industry are similar biocides that are used in personal care or for consumer products, such as the biocides that you'd use in your hand soaps or chlorine tablets that you'd put in swimming pools. So they're generally biocides that we'd use that are safe around humans. But to address these fears, we have gone a step further. We've actually used a new product that uses ultraviolet light rather than chemicals to treat for bacteria or to control bacteria. And so essentially what we do is we pass the water that we're going to use for hydraulic fracturing through the ultraviolet light bulbs, and the ultraviolet light will then incapacitate the bacteria to grow further.
Great. So you just said something that triggered a thought with me, and you said, we're always looking for safe techniques. And you mentioned in one of your one point in your session that you were using food components. How is that helping to increase the technology and really refine the process and the fluid?
Sure. Most of our fracturing fluids in the past have been made up of components that have come from the food industry or personal care industry. What we have done at Halliburton is to really take that a step further and to address the concerns or maybe even the confusion that people might have with hydraulic fracturing fluids. And what we have done is we looked at U.S. regulations, specifically the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, which will show you what is considered safe for direct food additives for human consumption. And so we decided to look at that list, something that has gone through a set of rigorous tests or been proven by decades of use, and we decided to make our fracturing fluid from those components. So we have done that. We've made a frac fluid that has a gelling agent, a crosslinker, a breaker, and a surfactant, all from this type of list. And though it's not intended for human consumption, it does give us that extra level of safety net, as well as it reaches out to the people. I think it's something that people can identify with as safe rather than the conventional chemistries that we use for fracture fluids.
Great. And talking about fracturing fluid, some people have expressed concern over fracturing fluid, but there's also propane. What is the difference between using propane and using fracturing fluid?
So as I mentioned previously, that fracturing fluids are primarily composed of water. 99.5% is water and sand. With propane, it removes water completely. And the advantages of using a propane type fluid system is that it is considered a little bit more compatible with the formation, so that you could get a little bit better production and reduce this phase trapping, so to speak. And so the production is more readily available. There are some concerns with propane type fracturing, primarily the safety of delivering that fluid system from the surface due to the volatility of propane itself.
Got it. Well, thank you very much for joining us today with Jason Bryant at Halliburton. I'm Emily Hagstrom, and you are watching at the Global New Energy Summit.